Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yoganandana Bhajayanandana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Kira Manachari Yamuna Kira Manachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are reading today from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, Text 10. Bhavadvidha Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Svantasthena Kadabrata Bhavadvidha Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Shvantasthena Gadabhrata Bhavadvidha Bhagavatas Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Svanthastena Gadabrata
Bhavadveda
Bhagavatas
Tirtha Bhutah Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Svantasthena Gadabhrata
Bhagavad-gita Bhagavatas Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Svanthasthena Gadabhrita Bhagavad-gita Bhagavata
तीर्थभूता स्वयं विभो तीर्थकुर्वन्ति तीर्थानि स्वान्तस्तेन गदाभिता
Mataji's. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation, sorry, word to word meaning. Bhavad, your good self. Vidha, like. Bhagavata, devotees. Tirtha, the holy places of pilgrimage. Bhuta, converted into. Swayam, personally. Vibho, O powerful one. Tirthi kurvanti, make into a holy place of pilgrimage. Tirthani, the holy places. Swa antasthena, having been situated in the heart. Gadabhrata, the personality of Godhead. Translation and purport. Translation. My Lord, devotees like your good self are verily holy places personified, because you carry the personality of Godhead within your heart. You turn all places into places of pilgrimage. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The personality of Godhead is omnipresent by His diverse potencies everywhere, just as the power of electricity is distributed everywhere within space. Similarly, the Lord's omnipresence is perceived and manifested by His unalloyed devotees like Vidura, just as electricity is manifested in an electric bulb. A pure devotee like Vidura always feels the presence of the Lord everywhere. He sees everything in the potency of the Lord and the Lord in everything. The holy places all over the earth are meant for purifying the polluted consciousness of the human being by an atmosphere surcharged with the presence of the Lord's unalloyed devotees. If anyone visits a holy place, he must search out the pure devotees residing in such holy places, take lessons from them, try to apply such instructions in practical life, and thus gradually prepare oneself for the ultimate salvation going back to Godhead. To go to some holy places of pilgrimage does not only mean to take bath in the Ganges or Yamuna or to visit the temples situated in those places. One should also find the representatives of Vidura who have no desire in life save and except to serve the personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead is always with such pure devotees because of their unalloyed service, which is without any tinge of fruitive action or utopian speculation. They are in the actual service of the Lord, specifically by the process of hearing and chanting. The pure devotees hear from the authorities and chant and sing and write of the glories of the Lord. Mahamuni Vyasdev heard from Narada. Then he chanted in writing. Sukdev Goswami studied from his father and he described it to Parikshit. That is the way of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, by their actions, the pure devotees of the Lord can render any place into a place of pilgrimage, and the holy places are worth the name only on their account. Such pure devotees are able to rectify the polluted atmosphere of any place, and what to speak of a holy place rendered unholy by the questionable actions of interested persons who try to adopt a professional life at the cost of the reputation of a holy place. Hare Krishna. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे ठीक है। Hare Krishna. So thank you for having me here. For the pleasure of temple authorities, I will be sharing few thoughts. Nice to see first Saturday of the year, so many devotees assembled. So I seek blessings of all the Vaishnavas to share some thoughts. So this is very, very special verse which talks about what is the importance of devotees or how Lord treats his devotees. Or how Lord sees his devotees. So we know, right, the whole episode which is going on where Vidura was kicked out by Duryodhan. He saw that as an opportunity. He visited all the holy places, and now after the war he has come back to Hastinapur, and his main purpose was that he wants to instigate Dhritarashtra to take shelter of Lord Krishna. So the theme which is coming out in this verse, so Yudhishthir Maharaj is welcoming Vidurji, and this is the verse which he speaks in glories of Vidura. So throughout our Shastras, right, time and again it is described how Lord treats his devotees. So for example, okay, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, during Mahaprakash Leela, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Haridas Thakur that your birth is better than my birth. Now see, Haridas Thakur was born materially in the family of Malechas. Malecha is lower than Shudras also. We have Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Below Shudras are Malechas and other categories. So Lord Haridas Thakur was born in the family of Malechas, Chandalas. And Lord Chaitanya was a first class Brahmana. And what Lord Chaitanya is saying? Your birth is better than my birth. Then same thing when Chaitanya, Haridas Thakur and all the devotees go to Jagannath Puri and to meet Lord Chaitanya. And then all devotees, they are paying obeisances, they are meeting Lord Chaitanya. Haridas Thakur stands way behind, outside Gambhira, on the opposite side of the road near Suech. And Lord Chaitanya is inquiring, where is Haridas? Where is Haridas? So all devotees say, no, Haridas Thakur is on that side. So Lord Chaitanya understands his mood. So he doesn't go and disturb and force Haridas Thakur to come. But after meeting all the devotees, Lord Chaitanya personally goes to Haridas Thakur, okay, and embraces him. And he says, I get purified by touching your body. Now, who is Lord Chaitanya? He is Lord himself. He is Krishna. We get purified by chanting his name. There is no sin, in हमारे शास्त्रों में ऐसा कहा गया है, there is no sin which we can commit which cannot be counteracted by the holy name. That is the power of holy name. And Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself. But what Lord Chaitanya is telling Haridas Thakur, that I get purified by embracing you. So this is how Lord treats his devotees. Then, where Lord Chaitanya, we all know Sanatan Goswami, he was staying with Haridas Thakur at Siddh Bakula, and Sanatan Goswami had developed all this, this boils, right? And every day Lord Chaitanya used to go to meet Haridas Thakur and Sanatan Goswami, and every day Lord Chaitanya used to embrace Sanatan Goswami. So Sanatan Goswami was feeling very disgusted, saying that I came here to serve the Lord, but I am in such a condition that I cannot serve. So let me give my life. So he decides that on Rath Yatra day, I will, give up my life below Lord Jagannath's cart. And Lord Chaitanya is Krishna himself, so he understands what Sanatan Goswami is thinking. So he goes to Sanatan Goswami and he says, Sanatan, your body is my property. How can you think of giving up? You are a thief. How can you misuse my property if your body is my property? Right? And then Lord Chaitanya gave 10 instructions to Sanatan Goswami that I have service for you. I want you to go to Vrindavan. I want you to excavate holy places, write books, and there is this list of 10 instructions. So he said, I want to do this all service through you. How can you think of giving up your body? So the point is same, that how Lord treats his devotees. And then same thing he tells Murari Gupta. When Murari Gupta was thinking of giving up his life, because Lord Chaitanya told him, why don't you chant name of Krishna? And he could not, because he was Hanuman. He was always chanting name of Lord Ram. So again he thought of giving up his life. So Lord Chaitanya came to his house and told Murari, how can you take away my property? Your body is my property. So conclusion is, devotees, the whole Shastras, it is said, right? Prabhupada told us, devotees told us, Gita is 10th standard, right? Bhagavatam is graduation. Chaitanya Charitamrita is post-graduation. Why? Because in Bhagavatam, graduation and post-graduation, what are we studying? How Lord loves and treats his devotees. And how devotees treat each other. That is the subject matter of great, secret. That how Lord treats his devotees and, how dear Lord devotees are to the Lord. So, why, and what happens when we come in contact of such devotees, right? Like when, devotees came in front of Srila Prabhupada, who's again pure devotee of the Lord. Okay. So, we all know those, if we will interact with, the devotees who came very, very 1965, 1966, early contact, early days, right? Like I think in 2nd Avenue, ISKCON would be less than this crowd, right? All these boys are sitting, that was ISKCON at that time. That's it. And all these boys. So, see, one thing I have realized, whenever we hear these pastimes, we have to contextualize, we have to get into that what was the setting at that time, because we are in a different generation. At that time, it was a different generation. So India was considered a third world country. Abhi to India is becoming very this thing developed and all that. India talent is recognized. But at that time in 1965, India was considered as a country of snake charmers. Journey Home में भी महाराज लिखते हैं, India was considered as a country of snake charmers and a considered a third world country. अभी आप सोचिए प्रभु, आप इतने बड़े इंडिया में रह रहे हैं, ओके, इतना टैलेंट है, इतना कॉलेज में पढ़े हैं, और कोई अफ्रीका से आके एक बूढ़ा 70 साल का आदमी बैठ के आपको भगवान के बारे में कुछ बताएगा, आप सुनेंगे क्या? कौन सुनेगा? वी हैव टू कंटेक्चुअलाइज दैट. How many of us will be willing to hear if some old 70-year person comes from Africa without any brand? आज तो ISKCON एक ब्रांड है, उस समय कोई ब्रांड नहीं था. How many of us will be willing to hear? No, at least I will not hear. So still devotees were sitting, and Prabhupada had this very heavy accent, Bengali accent, an old man. So all the boys and girls 19, 20, the ऐसा कहा जाता है द सबसे बड़ा उम्र का आदमी उस समय मालूम है कौन था? 24 years. 24 years means you are senior devotee. That was the highest age of the boys and girls at that time. Everyone else was 19, 20, 21. 24 years was highest. Right? So 70-year-old man is sitting with heavy accent, Bengali accent, Indian accent. So if you speak to those devotees, they will say, we could not understand what Prabhupada was saying, which is fact. We couldn't understand what Prabhupada was saying, but we knew only two things. What was that? He said, we could understand that this person is not here to exploit us. He truly loves us. That is, Prabhupada could emanate that energy from him because he was pure devotee. And second thing, he has a message which is of very urgent. These two things they understood. And they just kept coming, and then rest is history. Right? So what happens when we come in contact with these devotees? Right? We experience love. Right? We experience so many times, right? Some pure devotee will come, like we will get in, you will see Maharaj or some other pure devotees, like any Maharaj, right? Sannyasis. What the feeling comes? The feeling comes, I just want to serve this person. Or sometimes when we go in front of the Lord also, right? When we go in front of the Lord without anything, we just feel, अरे क्या मांगने का यार भगवान से? I just want to serve him. He's so beautiful. I just want to be in his company. I just want to be his servant. I just want to serve him. So same feeling we get when we see pure devotees. And I just want to serve this person. I just want to do something which will please this person. So this is the feeling which came with all the boys and girls. This person is doing so much. Let us do something which will just please him. That's it. They didn't understand much big philosophy. Just please this person. So anyway, why, now the point is, why devotees are so dear to Lord? So now we've discussed, first theme what we discussed, that devotees are so much dear to Lord by a few examples. Now we will discuss why devotees are dear to the Lord. Because of certain qualities or certain things which they do. Can I share this? Yeah? Few things, a lot of things are there, but I will just share a few things. Okay. So first thing is, Krishna tells in Gita himself, okay, 18th chapter, 68th slok. What? That for one who explains, let me read the slok. I am not good in reading the slok, but let's read. Okay, what he says, Ya idam paramam guhyam mad bhakteshva abhidasyati bhakti mai param kritva mam evasyati asamshaya. What he is saying? That the people, for one who explains this knowledge, this science of devotional service to others, okay, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he comes back to me. Right? So Krishna is saying that these devotees are very, very dear to me. One second. There is no, and 18.69 he say, Nacha tasman manushesa kashin me priya kratama. Okay, he's saying there is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there be ever one who is more dear. So what is Krishna saying? Krishna is saying one who takes this message and tries to give it to others, he is very, very dear to me. No one will be ever dear to me. Okay. So with this context, right, let us, I was trying to make an acronym, but वो acronym बहुत लंबा हो जाता था. So I will discuss few points, maybe next time, some other time we'll discuss few points, right? So I was trying to make an acronym of devotee or bhakta, right? So what qualities devotees or bhakta demonstrates which makes them so dear to the Lord. So I am not speaking any acronym today. I will speak few qualities and examples, and then let's see how it goes. So first quality of devotee is why they are so dear to Lord is they extend themselves to give Krishna to others. Right? They go to any extent to give Krishna to others. For example, right? In this example also, right? Like Vidura, he is not concerned that okay, this person's son kicked me out of Hastinapur, I was insulted, why I should go back. No, he said, I have to, he is my brother, okay, he needs Krishna consciousness at this time, let me go back to him. So same way if we see in the life of Srila Prabhupada, right, at the age of, all of you know, so I will not spend much time, but I will speak few other things. So at the age of 69, in 1965, he went to US, okay, with so much of arduous journey. But see, in 1965 to 71, okay, ISKCON had already spread in all the continents. America, Europe, okay, UK, George Harrison had become his devotee. So it had already spread to many continents of the world. So Prabhupada went to preach, right? He went to preach Gita and message of Bhagavatam in English language. So in 1971, by 1972, he was already about 74, 75 years of age. He could have relaxed. Okay, Guru Maharaj, you told me to preach. I went. I already made few disciples. Everything is going fine. No problem. Correct? But what Prabhupada? Prabhupada was eager. Prabhupada was enthusiastic. Prabhupada was ready to extend himself to any extent. So he said, he was forcing himself. He said, I want to go to Russia. How I can go to Russia? Because he said that is one continent where Krishna consciousness has not been spread. Let me go to Russia. And he was constantly trying, how can I go to Russia? How can I go to Russia? And then, he got one slight opportunity. He was in touch with Professor Kotosky, who was a professor of Indology, and he was corresponding. So Professor Kotosky called him for a 30 minutes interview, and he gave only 3 days visa, with restriction that you cannot meet anyone and cannot go anywhere out. Now Prabhupada could have said, Arey, I have already preached to so many countries, so many thousands of disciples anyway there, why to go to Russia? And at that time, Russia was a communist country and preaching Krishna consciousness or any kind of religion was officially illegal. So if you get caught, anything can happen to you. With that risk, Prabhupada got a letter that you are invited for a 3-day visa and you have to reach immediately next day. Prabhupada told Shyam Sundar Prabhu, let's go to Russia immediately. Right? So Ramchandra Prabhu arranged tickets and everything else, right? And nothing is allowed. So he just carried one tape recorder. And Bhagavad Gita was not even allowed because it is an official book. It is a religious book and scripture as per them. So anything could have happened. So Malti Mataji, who was Shyam Sundar Prabhuji's wife, was helping him and she was not aware of all this sensitivity and geopolitical situation. So what she did while packing, she put one Bhagavad Gita without anyone's knowledge. And along with that Gita, in between, she put Prabhupada's pictures, some photos, at that time which was clicked. So, in airport, the custom people stopped and they asked Shyam Sundar Prabhu, what is in this bag? Oh, we just have clothes. Open the bag. He opened. First thing he sees Gita. And he was not aware that there is Gita. So custom person is asking, okay, what is this? So, if you get surprised, you don't know what to respond, right? So you like, so he's like, this is so the custom officer picks up the book and he opens the book. As soon as he opens the book, all the photographs fell down. Okay, so custom officer, what he does, he gets very this thing कि अरे मैंने उनका पर्सनल फोटोज गिरा दिया, तो वो गीता को बैग में वापस रख देता है और फोटोज उठा के सॉरी सॉरी सॉरी, सो ही बिकम्स मोर अपोलोजेटिक टू श्याम सुंदर प्रभु कि मैंने आपका फोटो गिरा दिया. This is how first Bhagavad Gita entered Russia. So now Prabhupada is meeting Professor Kotosky. Okay, they have just 30 minutes discussion, and then Prabhupada says, Professor Kotosky, okay, can I address other students? Can I meet other professors? He bluntly says no. He says no, not allowed. What to do now? Then Prabhupada is, they are escorted back to hotel. They go to the, what you say, upstairs of the hotel, and Prabhupada is seeing, okay, he's seeing the streets of Moscow, and he's telling Shyam Sundar Prabhu, one day in the street of Moscow, thousands of Russians will be chanting Hare Krishna. And Shyam Sundar Prabhu is thinking how it will happen. We are not even allowed to speak to one person. Okay. So then Prabhupada is getting frustrated. What to do? Can't speak to anyone, can't do anything. So he takes a city tour. So he takes city tour, half day he pass, few hours goes. Prabhupada is not interested in all this city and sightseeing and all that, right? Prabhupada said, go, take me back to hotel, take me back to hotel. So again they are back in hotel. Now 3 days they have to spend, what to do. So anyway, Shyam Sundar Prabhu goes out on street to find some prasad for Prabhupada. So he has to walk for hours and hours, because that time Russia, it's not easy to find some vegetables and rice and chapati or whatever, right? Flour and all. So he's walking for hours and hours and hours and, finding some vegetables and this thing. So 2 boys, okay, one was Ivan, Russian guy, and one was Narayan. He was an Indian guy, son of a diplomat, Indian diplomat based in Moscow. So they see Shyam Sundar Prabhu, and at that time, any American visiting Russia was very, very rare. So they go to Shyam Sundar Prabhu, hey, you are American, yes. So they are asking him, 1971 ka baat hai na, you have Walkman, you have CD, you have this, you have that. So American, yeah, jeans and other things. So Shyam Sundar Prabhu said, no, I don't have anything, but I have a guru. So they get very excited. Oh, an American person have an Indian guru. So he says, do you want to meet him? He says, yes. So that's 2 boys. Shyam Sundar Prabhu takes him to Srila Prabhupada's room. That is. So Prabhupada was so eager to give Krishna consciousness, and he knew this is the only opportunity. So he gave his essence and heart out to those 2 boys, Krishna consciousness. And Ivan was very, very interested. So he was asking so many questions to Prabhupada about self, body, God, super soul, and Prabhupada gave him entire essence. Then it was getting late. So Ivan said, okay, I will come next day. So they came next day. Again, full day they were spending time with Prabhupada. Okay. And again, Prabhupada gave him all the essence. And what did Shyam Sundar Prabhu do? Shyam Sundar Prabhu gifted that Gita, which was secretly, unknowingly placed in his bag without his knowledge, to Ivan. And that Gita was translated in Russia by Prabhupada's disciples. And that is the same Gita translated in Russian language, which was given to Putin by our dear Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. So this is the history. How Prabhupada, and his devotees were ready to extend themselves to give Krishna to others. And of course, everyone knows that in Russia at that time, there was this whole KGB and Communist Party, and all these devotees, they didn't even Xerox. So all these books of Prabhupada's books used to get smuggled, right? They used to translate in Russia, and then they used to copy. And one person used to read and then pass it on to another person, the same book. Then he used to read and pass on to another person. अभी तो हम इधर चिल्ला चिल्ला के बोलते book ले लो, किसी के पास time नहीं है. And that was the way people were eager to read Prabhupada books. And that is what Prabhupada was so eager to extend himself, right? Go to any extent. So in 1977, May 1977, right? Prabhupada passed away in November 1977. In May 1977, when Prabhupada was very, very weak, he called his secretary. He said, okay, I will go to UK, then I will go to Paris, then I will go to Australia, then I will go to US. And everyone is saying, Prabhupada, you are so weak. You have not eaten for so many days. Something will happen to you. Prabhupada said, I am a warrior. For a warrior, it is better to die on a battlefield. Prabhupada at that time was in Vrindavan, nicely resting. He said, let me go. So please, we should not take this, we cannot imitate Prabhupada. We should take care of our health. But point is, why Prabhupada was so dear to Lord? Because, he was really, really extending himself. He said, no, I want to go and meet all the devotees all over the world. And I want to express my gratitude because they really assisted me in serving my Guru Maharaj. And I want to really thank them. So he made a schedule and he went through many places, right? And finally, then he came back to this thing. So first thing we see is, what is devotees? First quality we see is how they are ready to extend themselves, right? Other thing is, in extending themselves is writing books. Okay. I know Bhakti Vilas Govind Prabhuji is a writer. He keeps sending me articles, So to write anything, I am thinking of writing articles, but I can never write, because it requires a lot of mental space and this and that, right? But Prabhupada was really extending himself to write books. Now, to write something, as I said, right, we need an environment and other things. But how Prabhupada was writing? So, there are 10 things which Prabhupada was simultaneously doing and still writing. So, let me explain what are the 10 things he was doing. Okay. First, intense management of ISKCON. Okay. Intense management. Okay. All over the worldwide. And that is also in an age when there is no WhatsApp, there is no mobile that you can just call up someone, अरे वो ठीक कर दो, ये इधर ये problem चल रहा है, intense management of ISKCON. And doing personal service is much easier. Getting service done from others is very different. So intense, first thing is he was doing intense management of ISKCON all over worldwide. Secondly, constant traveling. Every 2 to 3 days he was traveling in a new place. Now see, if you travel to a new place, there is travel fatigue, there is jet lag, there is so many other things. And he was constantly traveling like every 2 to 3 days. Third, he was confronting major problems of his leaders, right? So all the GBC members and all the leaders, right, they had interpersonal issues or other issues, whatever is going on, right? So he was dealing with them, okay? Then India itself was a big project. Managing India itself was another big project. Why? Because India is very special, right? यहाँ पे एक रुपए का चीज 100 रुपए में बेचना होता है when you see a firang, right? So he knew his disciples are not trained enough to handle Indian people. So he was very closely monitoring all Indian affairs because he knew my disciples can get cheated. So he was doing in managing India projects, right? Fifth, handling all managerial affairs like looking at all the invoices, signing of checks, and all that. All over worldwide, this is. Sixth, authorizing large BBT loans. So Prabhupada made this beautiful system, right? Books distribute, money comes, that money goes as loans to temples. They give the money back with interest. So that's how he made the whole financial system, right? So he was authorizing large BBT loans, means he was authorizing large projects. Okay, ये इधर ये गुरुकुल स्टार्ट करो, ये इधर ये टेम्पल स्टार्ट करो, वो इधर ये टेम्पल स्टार्ट करो, ठीक है? Approving expenses and development of major ISKCON projects, as I said. Then responding to all emails, letters, and questions. Not emails, sorry, mails, letters, and mails and questions. Right? So again, as I said, I was just about to say no email. It was all handwritten, but I just wrote emails, right? So all the letters, posts, which is coming, right? Then ninth, wherever he's going, giving Bhagavatam classes and meeting guests. All the big guests, people, celebrities, he used to come. And his enthusiasm was so much. Once in Amsterdam, he was called for a 5 minutes radio interview. And he had to drive 2 hours. He told Shamsundar Prabhu, let's go. For a 5 minutes radio interview, he drove 2 hours, gave interview, came back. That was his enthusiasm or that's the way he was extending himself to give Krishna to others. And last, initiating devotees. Now, if you have to do all these 10 things, where is the time to write books or translate Bhagavatam? And amongst all these things, he is writing books. So that was one. So that was first quality, right? Second quality is which devotees expresses how they see each living entity as part and parcel of Krishna. Okay, so they see the spark. Okay, like for example, Haridas Thakur, right? When he was beaten by executioners, okay, he was praying. He was, and see again, we have, as I keep saying, right, we have to contextualize. अभी हमको कोई मार रहा है और हम उसके लिए प्रार्थना कर रहे हैं तो बहुत दूर की बात है प्रभु. हमको कोई कुछ बोल के चला जाता है ना तो उसके लिए मन में हमारे पास ग्रजेस रह जाते हैं. मारना तो बहुत दूर की बात है ना. फिजिकल असॉल्ट तो बहुत दूर की बात है. मेंटल या वर्ड असॉल्ट भी हो जाता है ना. किसी ने कुछ बोल दिया, एटलीस्ट मेरे साथ तो ऐसा होता है ना. और अभी तक है. अभी मैं रोज प्रार्थना कर रहा हूँ, मेरे नेबर के साथ कुछ झगड़ा हो गया, कुछ तो उसने मुझे बोल दिया, तो उसको देखता हूँ तो खुन्नस ही देता हूँ बेटा. तो रोज सुबह चैंटिंग करते वक्त यही सोचता हूँ, त्रिणादपि सुनीचे ना तरेर व सहिष्णु ना अमानी ना मान देना कीर्ति ने. तो अमानी ना मान देने में उसका ही एग्जाम्पल आता है. अरे भगवान थोड़ी बुद्धि तो. रोज माना कर रहा हूँ, रोज चैंटिंग कर रहा हूँ, रोज ये वर्स बोल रहा हूँ, लेकिन ये ग्रजेस क्यों नहीं जा रहा है उसके अगेंस्ट. So this is a very big thing, seeing every living entity as part and parcel of Krishna and showing compassion to them. Otherwise we keep on holding grudges against so many people. So what was Haridas Thakur doing? Different level of compassion. Okay, that executioners are beating him. Okay, and he's praying, Lord, please forgive them. And he's smiling at them as if, what do you say? He is having mercy on them. Okay, so and Lord was so angry that he wanted to come with his Sudarshan Chakra and kill all the executioners. But then Lord Chaitanya during Mahaprakash Leela, he says that your prayer, Haridas, to save those executioners was so deep that even my Sudarshan Chakra could not kill them. But I could not see you getting beaten. So what did I do? I covered my body on your body and I took all the beatings. And he showed all the whips marks of those executioners. So, but why Lord did that? Because of devotees' compassion to see each and every living entity as part and parcel of Krishna and give Krishna to them. Similar example we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita Shivananda Sen. Okay, when he was going for yatra. Okay, every year he used to take, I love this example, he used to take, all the devotees for yatra from Bengal to Puri. And one year, one dog, started accompanying them. And what did he see? He saw that dog, that okay, this dog is also a devotee of Lord Chaitanya and he wants to come and take darshan of Lord Chaitanya. So he started taking care of dog as good as he was taking care of all the other devotees. And of course, I'll not get into details. There is a big story how he had to pay extra taxes at toll because he was carrying an animal, and how, everywhere he ensured that the prasad is arranged for dog. And finally, at one toll, he was held back. And then he told other devotees, okay, you go ahead and please ensure that this dog is taken care of. And when Shivananda Sen reaches that spot, the first thing he asks is, where is that dog? And devotees say, oh, sorry, we forgot. Where is he? So after leaving keeping all the management affairs aside, what Shivananda Sen is doing? The search party. Everyone is searching for dog. And then no one is able to find him. And then for the benefit of the yatris, Shivananda Sen, okay, he prays and he says, okay, let's go ahead. And then, when they reach Lord Chaitanya in Puri, they see that that dog or puppy is already there at Lord Chaitanya's feet. And Lord Chaitanya delivered that puppy. We have that story, right? That for 2-3 days that puppy or dog was seen around Lord Chaitanya, and Lord Chaitanya used to eat some fruit and directly put in the, throw at that dog, and he used to catch it and he used to eat it. So mercy, right? Eating something directly what Lord Chaitanya is eating. Why? So Maharaj explains, Prabhupada explains that because he became devotee, became dear to a devotee of the Lord, he became dear to the Lord. So our life's mission is to become dog for Prabhupada. If we can just become dear to another devotee of the Lord, our life will be successful. That's our whole parampara system. Servant of the servant of the servant. That is why we wear this kanthi mala. We are like dogs of Prabhupada. Our life's mission is we can become dear to Prabhupada and his disciples, and our authorities. Then our life will be successful. So, what is the second example, second quality? That they see every living entity as part and parcel of Krishna. The third thing is what devotees' qualities they exhibit is, except they align their will to Krishna's will. They accept all the reversals in their life with grace. Whatever Krishna's will is there, like we see in Prabhupada's example, right? So many reversals came, but Prabhupada never lost determination and enthusiasm. He kept accepting those reversals, and he kept fighting, and he kept with determination and enthusiasm, kept on what do you say, prayatna. He kept on doing efforts to keep giving Krishna to others and others. Right? So even we see in the life of so many disciples of all Srila Prabhupada's disciples, so many obstacles they face, so many reversals they have, right? But they quickly align themselves to Krishna's will. Okay, devotees are opportunists. Under any circumstance, they see it as an opportunity to take shelter of Krishna and serve him. So that is the third quality. They align their will to Krishna's will. And last, before we end today's class, is they desire only Krishna's pleasure or devotee's pleasure. Okay, they have no personal desire. They only desire Krishna's pleasure. Right? So, like, how do we see this? Very material, raw example I will say, right? Like when Prabhupada went to US. Okay, when he saw 1965, that time anyway US was 20-30 years ahead of India. Okay, when he saw all these big malls and offices and technological advancements. Okay, like Prabhupada writes in his Lilamrit, all the other yogis and gurus, they had already fallen trap of those material advancement, and they accustomed themselves and they started speaking philosophy which is palatable to American people, so that, and they started enjoying their life in America. But that's not what Prabhupada did. Prabhupada, when he writes here in Lilamrit, when Prabhupada first time went to Boston and New York and he saw all these big buildings, skyscrapers, he was crying. He was not like, wow, what a beautiful place. No, he was crying because he was experiencing Krishna, Krishna consciousness so deeply, right? That he was seeing our happiness as dukh. He's saying what piddly happiness these people are having. Krishna consciousness can give such a superior experience of happiness. He was experiencing such higher taste. So, Prabhupada, like, same thing we see in Ramayana. Okay, when we just went to like Sri Lanka also for yatra, and it's a beautiful place. Okay, so the whole time we were in yatra, we were just meditating on this one point, like such a beautiful place. And during Ram's time, Ravan would have made it so more beautiful, so beautiful place, right? But when Hanuman comes to Lanka, he is not saying, wow, what a Lanka, let me stay here only. See, you have to again understand the context. He is coming from the service, from what background he is coming? He is coming from the service of Lord Ram. What Lord Ram at a material level is able to give him? Nothing. He is eating fruits, berries, वो भी ठिकाना नहीं है, मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा. Searching for Sita for so many days and months, right? And here he comes to a place. So that means there was so much of, at a physical level, austerity in serving Lord Ram. And here he comes to Lanka where there is so much of nice facilities, bodily comfort. Just one decision. Let me stay here. You know, one thought, one decision, let me stay here. No one would have ever come to know. Okay, someone like Hanuman came, he could have nicely spent his entire life there. But no, their devotees are dedicated, they have no desire other than serving Krishna. That's why in Ramayana, if we see, why did Angad didn't fly? Why Hanuman flew to search Sita? When all the monkeys are discussing that, okay, I can fly only 10 yojanas, I can fly 20 yojanas. What Angad says? Angad says, I can fly, but I am not sure I will come back. So that was not a problem of flying back strength. It was a problem of he knew that if I go there, I may get attached to all the material comforts over there. So better I don't go. So Hanuman went because Hanuman was very chaste. So devotees are very chaste in following Krishna's will and desire. They have no other desire. So Prabhupada had no other desire than just to give Krishna. And that is why, because of these qualities, what happened? Like now coming back to this verse, wherever they go, they form Tirtha. That is what Prabhupada did. He made US Tompkins Square Park a Tirth. Today, if we go to Tompkins Square Park, I have not gone, but I have heard there is this place where Prabhupada sang his first kirtan. People come, circumambulate that place, right? Tree, yeah, Hare Krishna tree, right? So this is the magic of Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada used to say that all my temples are non-different from Vaikuntha or Vrindavan. So His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, okay, he also exemplified that mood. He also passed away, gave up his body in Gita Nagari. When he was told, okay, why don't you go to Vrindavan? He said, no. Prabhupada said that all of his temples are non-different from Vrindavan. So I'm already in Vrindavan. Why I need to go anywhere else? So I will pass away my body here only. Right? So he had so much of faith in Prabhupada's words. And that's what actually Prabhupada did. All his temples, right? Like even if you go to Australia, another thing, that quote is there where Prabhupada said, all my temples are non-different from Vaikuntha. So wherever, all over the world, wherever Prabhupada went, he made all the places as holy places, right? Because of his pure nature. And that is what this verse is saying, right? Wherever all the pure devotees go, that place becomes place of worship. Okay. So this is the essence of our Bhagavatam, and what you say, the essence of Bhagavatam is how Lord, devotees are dear to the Lord, and how we can become dear to Lord just by serving his devotees, by becoming servant of the servant of the servant. So one thing I have been meditating upon, last few weeks, that what we can do different in New Year, right? Like New Year is a time of deliberation, of thinking, reset. So one thing which we can, of course, all of you are doing, I'm just telling for myself, that one thing we can do is, become more serious in reading Prabhupada books. Prabhupada books are full of his ecstatic love, wisdom. Like even yesterday I was reading something, 5th chapter, 2nd slok of Bhagavad Gita. Every time you read, something strikes you, something you feel, oh wow, So these are Prabhupada's books, and words are of real wisdom, real treasure, real happiness. So we can recommit during our New Year, whatever I'm sure we are already doing, all of you boys. I seek prayers and blessing that I can follow your footsteps. And please pray for me that every day, somehow or the other, I can spend some good quality time in reading Prabhupada books. Because then we can, really please Srila Prabhupada and really adopt that mood of the servant of the servant of the servant in serving him. Hare Krishna. I will stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki. Happy to answer any questions. Hare Krishna.